Welcome back to the Zodak Tea Room. This is the history of tea. I'm your host, Brandon, and today we're stepping out of the misty legends of the Han Dynasty and into the golden age of the Tang Dynasty, 618 to 907 AD. If the Han Dynasty discovered tea, the Tang Dynasty perfected it. This was the era where tea stopped being a bitter medicinal soup and started being high art. This is the period that gave us the Sage of Tea, Lu Yu, and saw the rise of the most famous trade network in human history, the Silk Road. This wasn't just a path for fabric. It was a 4,000-mile highway for ideas, religion, and, most importantly for us, the green gold that fueled the world. The humble beginnings, the rise of the tea culture. During the Tang Dynasty, tea became the national drink of China. It wasn't just for emperors anymore. It was for poets, monks, and merchants. For the first time, people started caring about how the tea was prepared. They moved away from boiling it with onions and ginger and started steaming the leaves and grinding them into a fine powder. This was the ancestor of the matcha we love today. It was bright, frothy, and elegant, the perfect drink for an empire that was becoming the center of the world. The Tang Dynasty, the story of the first tea tax. As tea consumption exploded, the Tang government realized they were sitting on a gold mine. In 780 AD, they introduced the world's first tea tax. This was a massive turning point because it proved that tea wasn't just a plant. It was a pillar of the economy. The money from this tax funded the Great Wall, supported a massive standing army, and allowed the Tang to build Chang'an, which was at the time the largest and most sophisticated city on earth. Tea on the Silk Road. This is where the story gets global. While silk was the celebrity of the Silk Road, tea was the workhorse. Merchants would load up camels and yaks with those heavy tea bricks we talked about in the last episode. They traveled from the humid tea gardens of southern China, through the scorching Gobi Desert, all the way to Central Asia and the Middle East. I'm sure you are curious as to why. Well, because nomadic tribes and desert travelers found that tea helped them digest heavy meat-based diets and kept them alert during long treks. Tea became the social glue that connected different cultures at every stop along the road. Steeped in history. Here's an ancient fact that sounds like a spy movie. To keep their monopoly on the tea trade, the Tang Dynasty kept the secret of how to grow tea under a death penalty seal. If you were caught trying to smuggle tea seeds or saplings out of the empire to sell to foreigners, it was considered high treason. They wanted the world to buy the tea, but they didn't want anyone else to know the recipe for growing it. For centuries, the rest of the world thought tea was a magical substance that only grew in one secret location. Empires built on tea, the silk and silver connection, the Silk Road created a triangle of trade. China had the silk and the tea, and the rest of the world, from the Persians to the Romans, had the silver. This exchange of green gold for white metal changed the world's wealth. The Tang Dynasty became so wealthy from this trade that they were able to foster an era of unprecedented peace and artistic growth. Without the profits from tea, the beautiful poetry and paintings we still study today might never have existed. Finding your flavor, the historical way. If you want to experience the Tang style, try a high-quality powdered green tea. Don't add sugar or milk, just whisk it into a froth with hot water. It's an earthy, grassy experience that takes you right back to a tea house in ancient Chang'an. The Tang Dynasty made tea a masterpiece, but they couldn't keep the secret forever. While they were busy guarding their borders, a group of Buddhist monks were about to do something that would change the map of Asia forever. They weren't interested in the silver or the silk, they wanted the spiritual power of the leaf. And their journey was about to take tea across the sea to a set of islands that would create a tea culture so intense, it would eventually rival China itself. But before we head to Japan, we need to talk about your kitchen. In the next episode of Rooted and Refined, we're revealing that hidden ingredient I mentioned last time. It's something you use every single day, but if it's too hard or too soft, it's literally killing the antioxidants in your cup. We're going to fix your water chemistry so you can finally taste what your tea is supposed to taste like. Thanks for joining me on the Silk Road. The history of tea is long, winding, and full of surprises. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next stop in the history of the leaf. Until then,